Hello everyone and welcome back to part 5 of our MotoGP 24 Let's Play. Yes, we return this weekend here for the Grand Premio Tisot de Portugal, otherwise known as the Portuguese Grand Prix. Yes, for my Formula 1 loyalists, we're actually returning to Algarve this weekend, which you guys will know as the Portimao circuit. One of my favourite, it must be said, in recent motorsport as well. And I just want to apologise to all of you. Obviously, there were no videos from this series over the weekend. I was actually away in Belgium for the World Endurance event, but MotoGP is back today, and we're going to be trying to continue on the daily upload. So a massive thank you to everyone for the continued support. Get yourself subscribed if you're new around here as well. We are having a lot of fun with this series. Currently, we are P6 in the driver's standings after the opening round of the season there. You can see, taking a look at the other standings, Celestino Vietti is at the top in Moto2, and in MotoGP it is Brad Binder with a big old lead ahead of Francisco Bagnaia, Marco Bezzecchi in P3, with Espargaro in 4th place there. So we're going to be trying to keep an eye out on all of those as we go through the course of this season. But yeah, as we return to Portimao this weekend, I'm hoping we can get a solid result underneath us. It's nice to go to back to a track that I actually know as well.
A big hello to everyone watching out there. We are live from the Algarve International Circuit, where the Portuguese Grand Prix weekend is about to begin. Free practice will start shortly, and the Moto3 riders will use this session to test their bikes and get a bit more familiar with the track. The sky is overcast today and temperatures have dropped quite a bit, but luckily the asphalt is dry and the weather forecast seems to deny any risk of rain.
Well, heading straight back out then onto the circuit. Like I said, I haven't actually played this game since last Thursday, I want to say, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't sound that long at all. But when you factor in just how rusty I probably am, I feel like Turn 1 here at Portimao is going to be a rather interesting test. You've got a break much earlier than I'm expecting, and that was nowhere near an apex immediately. I'm going to have to try and get some laps under my belt here in free practice. But of course, I want to try as well to avoid having to do Q1. Oh, I was not expecting that. I've taken the Formula 1 corner. Oh, no. Right, well, at least we know that for future reference then. I hadn't even sort of considered that. I didn't even know what the alternate layout was used for around here. Are there any other surprises? Maybe. Well, there's the long lap penalty then, through the penultimate corner of the lap. And the other one that we might have to prepare ourselves for is obviously the pit lane here. So it's actually, yeah, through that. Oh, no, it's even earlier than I thought then as well. So we have to be really careful if we want to try and peel into the pit lane. Or just try and be really cheeky and make our way through round in the final corner. I don't quite know still how the qualifying, how the qualifying format works about going straight into Q2. I think you've got to do a lap in Q2 and Q3, and then it's an aggregate of the pair. But with the AI being so rapid over one lap, when I'm not out on track, we might just have to do it the old way. Well, the sun's shining then a whole lot more as we make our way into Saturday's qualifying session. Top time in free practice was a 1:54 flat. So I'm waiting now for the AI to be able to do like 1:51s. As we get into qualifying, but I'd love to try and see ourselves into Q2, but we have got some time to get some laps on the board as the pit lane exit as well here. I understand why on a bike they don't want you just to be spat out into the apex of T1. I also understand why they don't want you running off the other side of the curbs. I mean, I'm guessing, of course, in real MotoGP events, if you have like a high side like we did there down at Turn 1, the bike usually, I would assume, of course, is written off as well. I occasionally, obviously, I get that they fall off and they can keep going. But I would assume that, I mean, they're pretty small things. I'm sure they're pretty delicate as well. So someone let me know about that down in the comments. But yeah, that first lap a complete write-off at 2:01. But we do need to try and find a bit more time, as unfortunately, yeah, breaking over the crests into some of these corners is giving us some horrible stoppies. But there we go, we're immediately going to be way up in the green. I'm hoping, yeah, we're going to see some other times appearing on the board, so we've got an idea of actually what we're aiming for here towards the end of our first proper flyer. Fernandez, I think that is going up onto provisional fastest with a 55.2. as we make our way through the final corner there. I'm going to lean off as the weight comes away from you over the crest. We're going to improve. It's going to be a low 156, I believe. If we actually get turn 1 nailed, then hopefully there's a chance. A 56.002 would put us in position at the moment. It's trying to break really early there. As you can see, the rear wheel lifts up. There we go. That's the apex I was looking for. While making our way in towards the final few corners, though, we are having the lap of my life at the moment. 2.5 seconds up on that previous one that we set. And this, I mean, has felt absolutely nailed for the most part. That's probably the first real mistake we made all the way around there. As we make our way in towards the final corner, lift off early, get as close to that apex as we can on the inside, and then get on the throttle as well. And this is going to be a 1 minute 53. We're going to be comfortably clear of the rest of everyone else in Q1. Surely that has got to be enough to see us into the second session. Well, there we go then. Myself, Fernandez, Paqueras, and David Munoz will make it through into that second session then. So very, very happy to be half a second clear there. But as we move into Q2, the times are going to get more competitive by the faster riders. So let's see where we can end up. We make our way into this second qualifying session. I reckon if we absolutely nailed it, a high 152 could be possible. But I think, yeah, sensibly we're going to be aiming for a low to mid 53. I mean, it's the likes of Suzuki that I'm very, very intrigued to see how they get on over the course of this session. But we have got to deliver there, as braking, just as you go over that crest, every time it's scary. But the bike is planted there. At least it's predictable through that first corner. That's a little bit wide through turn 2. And immediately we've got some traffic to contend with. I mean, it's this corner I'm really, really struggling with at the moment. It feels like you have to brake super early, just so then you can focus on actually scrubbing off and getting the angle in towards the next corner, and this one as well, where you go down and then back up all the way through. The bike is really moving around a lot underneath you as, well, these four still, no! Damn it! Just nicked the curb through the third last corner there, and well, that's going to be this first lap in the bin. Although, does give us a good benchmark to aim for around most of the lap. All things considered, to still run a 57.8 there is actually pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. But yeah, let's see if we can find any more time. I broke too late into T1. Just lean the bike in. Someone else has gone. And now we've got an invalid lap time. Colin Vyers then again fastest, just like we saw in Qatar on a 152.8. So I think I've got the AI level pretty well dialed in at the moment. So let's head back out then. Now the lap times won't get invalidated anymore. We've got enough time to get 3 more laps on the board. We cannot afford to waste these. Back down in towards turn 1. Braking just at that second line on the outside. Actually had even more of a stoppy than I would normally there. That's going to cost us just that little bit more. Plenty of curve through turn 2. Or get straightened up though. Before we make our way in towards the hairpin. This corner as well. Got to rotate really early, get off the throttle to get the weight over the front, and then get back on it again. We're pretty much even, though, by the time we make it down in towards the hairpin, which is so understeery. I cannot find a line that works through here. Just see there, I mean, the bike just constantly wants to straighten up on you, and you just cannot allow it to happen. But like I said, those first 3 sectors on that previous run did feel really, really good. We're within 4/10. But as we get another wobble, it's almost like it's trying to throw us towards that inside curbing through at that final left-hander of the lap. But how much... Oh, that's not the line. That is really not the line through the final couple of turns. And we are going to lose ourselves a bag of time as well there. 4.9 seconds off after the first run. And we're only going to improve by about 2.5 seconds here by the time we get to the end of the second one. So that's not a particularly good comparison. We've got 4 minutes left on the clock. We have to deliver. Oh, that was nice. You just got to be so patient through that hairpin as someone else has gone off. That, I think, is Colin Vyers at the front of the order, so not ideal for him. As maybe looking trying to improve his lap times once again. But we are what we are. We're up pretty much by nothing now with a line like that through there. But surely in the final sector we can find some more, as we're 3/4 of a second down by the end of sector 3. That's not where I wanted to be up through there, but it actually worked out rather nicely. I was never expecting that line to work, but it has. And we are now finding bags of time as we make our way in towards the final sector here. Come on, keep it tidy, keep it tidy. Don't allow the bike to nick that inside curb. Otherwise we are just going to immediately throw ourselves off right deeper into here. And then try and get the bike rotated round on the exit. Come on, we can do this. It is going to be another huge chunk of time found, but how much will it be? We're looking for about 2.4 seconds. And once again, it looks like we're going to pretty much half the gap to the pole sitter here. He's going to be down into the 153s, but we're still a second away from Colin. We've only really got one more shot at this, but we have got to find something else. Come on, this has got to be our final improvement as we make our way through the penultimate corner. Just foot to the floor. We're running a little bit wide on the exit. Will it be enough, though, to try and elevate our way up the order just a little bit more as we lean through that final corner? It is going to be another 4/10 improvement, but it is not going to be enough at the end of qualifying here. We're going to be about 6/10 off the pace, so much better than we did in Portimao. It is P5 on the grid for now, but will we see any other improvements?
Good morning from Gavin Emmett at the Algarve International Circuit. We are just a few kilometres from the coastal city of Portimao and ready to bring you the Portuguese Grand Prix. In a few moments, we'll move to the main straight to watch the start of the Moto3 race. Let's move straight to the starting grid. There's very little time until the start of the race. You can literally feel the tension. The sky is cloudy, but the weather will hold up throughout the race. The circuit should remain dry. The temperature will help consumption levels, with many riders discarding soft tyres and opting for medium tyres on both the front and rear instead.
Once again then, Colin on the pole, but he wasn't able to convert it last time out to a victory. We're going to listen to what most are doing and stick with medium tyres on front and rear there. I believe it's a 7-lap race around this Portimao circuit. Could we be on for a win today? That is the big goal. Come on, we can do this, I want to believe.
Now everything's ready for the start of the race and the adrenaline's running high. There's only room for one thought in the riders' minds: to make it to the finish line first.
Well, I want to believe we can do something here. I want to believe that there's a good opportunity starting way further up the order. It is 10 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go then. Not off to a particularly brilliant start. Remember, we need to try and beat Rida in the championship standings, but as we make our way down in towards turn 1, I'm expecting there to be chaos as we try and go down the middle of a couple of other riders. Yes, we will. As Nepa there gets a warning for track limits immediately. One of our teammates there, I think that was Holgado, wasn't it? Trying to have a look up the inside. As we make our way out of the first couple of corners, though. Surprisingly, a pretty clean start to this race. There we go. Holgado again making the move happen up in towards the hairpin. At least now I know where I'm breaking through here. Oh, no. Thanks for that. Nepa there, a big diving manoeuvre. Not really a lot we could have done in that situation. I was already trying to move towards an apex. But we did get an official warning then for that incident here, as everyone is so desperate to try and dive me into the corners there. I don't know who that was trying to look for a move. But yeah, as we round our way towards the end of lap 1, you can see every single rider just trying to look down my inside into a corner and then hoping that we can't do anything on the exit. But we have survived the opening lap, which is always ideal. We might be able to get a little bit closer to our teammate Holgado by the time we get back down in towards turn 1. A 55.8 is not a particularly bad lap time either. Got to brake early though in towards that first turn. A little bit tighter of a line. So, we were so lucky then. We bounced over the curbs, but we got away with it. Down the inside. Do what the AI do to me. 3 wide temporarily with Vyers as well. And unfortunately not able to make anything happen that time round, as we will go back around the outside though on the exit of the corner. Looks like Ruida is actually running up in P2. So we need to get a big result here if we want to be ahead of him. Please no one dive bomb me. Use the curb to rotate the bike through. I'll even make the move on Verzina, I want to say. I am still slowly learning names. I feel like I'm getting better with them. Well, the final sector is definitely somewhere where I feel like if we nail it, we can be really, really strong and make up some good time. Otherwise, it seems like the AI just very, very quick through there. As Holgado, I mean, what is that about? Absolutely dive bombing me into the corners. And now our teammate's gone and taken himself off his bike. Hopefully, I mean, he's out of the race. So hopefully, again, that isn't going to be a penalty for us. But we were certainly, again, I feel like an innocent bystander. Let me know down in the comments below. As turn 1, that is definitely somewhere where we can make up a lot. Problem I find in a lot of the corners is if I brake as late as the AI do to avoid getting collected by them, I just find myself actually starting to fall off the bike again, which is obviously not what I want to do. I seem to be, yeah, a lot better at kind of going slow in, fast out in a lot of places, which does work. I can keep up with the AI, but it doesn't work when I'm actually battling with them, because often it means that someone falls off, which is suboptimal in MotoGP. So another big wobble at the top of the hill. Like I said, these few corners, if I nail it, time can be had, but Suzuki is bolting at the front. See what I mean through there as well. The AI just like to throw it in a bit too aggressively, I think, and are costing themselves time on the exit of the corner. Here we go, though. Main championship rival Ruida. We will make the move on, and we will move up into P4. Podium places are right there. I mean, it's so easy to make an overtake on a MotoGP bike, but it is so difficult then to hang on to it. As we have a look around the outside of Alonso, we might try and switch him. Nope, we're just going to push him along in towards the next hairpin. And hopefully, yeah, Ruida doesn't careen into the side of me. We'll live to fight another day. Up through turn 4, though. It's such a nice run off of that corner. When we get the line nailed and we get towards that inside apex, and we get it stopped around the outside, that is a very brave place to look for me. And it was a good job we did, because Alonso really wanted to run me deep, but hangs on. I feel now, certainly, that more and more of these races are becoming about strategy as well. You know, where do you make your moves? Do you know, try and build up a bit of a gap, or do you just accept that you're going to be stuck fighting with certain riders here at the final corner, though? Seems to, yeah, be such a different line we're taking. I can't seem to find much consistency through it. I'll be completely honest with you guys, but gaining in on Alonso back down towards turn 1, oh, how I would love to try and get a podium here, as so much speed carried towards that first corner there. But the hand of rage goes up, but we will switch him off the exit of the corner there. And David Alonso, I think it's safe to say we aren't best friends at the moment. Maybe we'll get an unhappy word from him after the race, but we are up into the podium places, and in the championship standings, if things were to finish as they are, we would be 1 point back behind Ruida as we head towards Kota. As we watch the top 2 battle, though, it is once again Furazimi and Suzuki that are giving us a show at the front of the field. We're only our second back, though, so we might be able to close in before this race is down and out. Look at them taking the curb through there. You won't catch me being that brave. It looks like Ruida's actually dropped down there to P6 in this race, so maybe just pushed a bit too hard early on and is starting to struggle, as we are definitely closing in on Suzuki. Oh, that was a big moment. That was a scary moment at the final corner. Will it be new fastest lap, though? We miss out by just 1/10 of a second. That's the other goal. Oh, Suzuki again, just a little bit of a moment. We are definitely got the pace to fight for the win here today. But we've got to try and make sure we nail this last lap and a half, though. It's just trying to make sure that we focus on our own lines, doing what works for me. We've got a bit of a gap behind, so I don't think I need to worry too much about getting collected by Alonso. As you see through there, we lose a bit of time on the entry, but gain so much on the exit that we can carry right the way down through that little valley. I mean, this track is so scary on a motorbike. I love it. I absolutely love it. I do think it is one of the best modern built circuits in the world, to be completely honest, because they just embrace the elevation change so well. But one more lap to go then, here from the Algarve. Are we going to be able to try and get our first Moto3 victory? We've still got 2 more riders to try and navigate here, the first of which being Suzuki there. We're going to get a little bit of slipstream to make our way up over the start-finish line, as once again a 1:53.4. We are consistent, but will it be consistent enough? It's breaking down in turn 1. As always, we get a bit of a stoppy. Can we have a look the long way around? Oh, we just don't quite have enough there, but we do get to the inside for turn 2. No, we don't. Chops across my nose, and we have to take evasive action in towards the next hairpin. It won't cost us too much. Should be able to roll on the throttle nice and early, and maybe now we can try and switch him as we make our way up over the hill there. I think Furazimi is just pulling away, though, at the front of the field, so this might end up being a battle for P2. Long way around. Oh, we just have a little bit of contact again. And Suzuki is able to use that to try and get himself the run on the exit of the corner. Of course, I'd love to try and jump him, not only for the P2, but also because as things stand, it would mean we're ahead of Ruida as well, which would be super useful as the bike tries to wriggle around underneath us as we make our way up over the crest. This is surely got to be somewhere where we can try and make the move if we can get the line right. Try to scrub off the speed and then get back on the throttle as early as we dare. Yeah, it looks like Furazimi, though, is going to win this one, but will it be us or will it be Suzuki that hangs on for P2 in the end, making our way through the hairpins? Oh, no! No, 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 no. Come on, get back on. Get back on. It's all going to go wrong right at the end of the race there. And as we make our way through the final corner, we have absolutely balled it here. We'll get back down the inside of Vyers through the final corners, but that is heartbreaking. Looking for the move on Suzuki for P2. We absolutely gave it our all, but once again, just like we saw in Qatar, we are only going to be able to walk away with P6. We absolutely have the pace, though.
In a moment, we'll go live to the Parc Ferme for interviews with the riders who made the podium. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the final standings of this Moto3 race.
Well, there we go. Sorry, it was Furusato, isn't it? Of course, at the front of the field in the end with Tatsuki Suzuki P2. Alonso beats out Esteban and Ruida as well as myself there. Riccardo Rossi, Zuratuza, Kelso and Nepa rounding out our top 10. But that is gutting at the end of the race there. However, sheer consistency has bumped us up into P5 overall as Furusato and Suzuki battling it out at the top of the table. I still absolutely reckon we could be into P3 in the not too distant future. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when we return ready for the US Grand Prix.